What's up, everybody? It's me again. I haven't made a do-it-yourself video in a while for making a homebrew, but today I'm going to go for a Deschute's fresh squeezed IPA clone. So hopefully you stand enough of hearing me throughout this video, and you can see how the beer is made. Talk to you soon. Okay, here's all the grains for the Deschute's freshly squeezed IPA. Consists of 11.5 pounds of Breeze 2-row. 8 ounces of wheat malt and a pound of Great Western 2-row crystal, which I believe this is the Crystal 40. So this is going to make a good beer, hopefully. You can see that on my iPhone. Come on. Well, it's supposed to come out with about a 10.1 SRM, and I'm obviously making a 5-gallon batch. Along with these is I'm using, there's also a dry hopping stage, but this is just for the boil. I'm using 1 ounce of Mosaic, or Mosaic, how you pronounce it, an ounce of Centennial, and an ounce of Citra. When it comes to the dry hopping section of this, I'm actually going to wind up using another ounce of Citra and Mosaic hops. I'm going to be using these two over again for the dry hop. So first step is to add a little more than 4 gallons of water into my boil pot. This right here is connected to my water hose going right outside. This is actually one of those home filters type of thing, and so I made it. Basically just use the shut off. Water comes off. So next time you see this thing will start heating up to its strike temperature. Alright, well, this is heating up to my strike water, which is about 178, I believe it is. Figure I'll show you my new mash tun. It's a lot like the same as some of the other ones. And nice big old long braided hose. Comes out through the front type thing. But then this is going to be my first fly sparge attempt. So I made this while I was out getting surgery. Got bored, figured I'd make a little fly sparge. So this is going to be my first attempt at it. So I got the top sticking out right there, and I got the bucket down there with the spigot at the end, with so I can control the speed of it, so I can make sure the fly sparge goes correctly. So, but this is going to be a first time for me with the fly sparge. So hopefully this sucker works out pretty good. So next time you guys see me, the water's going to be at strike, and I'll put it in here, and then I'm going to start adding the grains. All right, I got the water in there at 176.6 degrees. Open it up. I've already got the grain in there, all nice and mixed in and everything else. Let's see. See, this will come in. This is reading. Come on. It's hard to do this crap one-handed. It's coming up right now. It's saying it's about 130 degrees. But I just put it in there and closed it up. So I'll check it again here in about another 20 minutes, and then we'll continue on from there. Well, I got 37 more minutes left of my mashing, so I've already put all my fly sparge water in here to a set point, and here in about 20 minutes, we got about 15 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and light that thing up, so that way the water's all nice and hot when it comes in here. I've been mixing this thing around for a little bit, and my temperature's still staying kind of high. Right now it's about 160 almost. I don't know how well you can see that. But it's either, because this is a new cooler that I'm using, or my water was just a little too hot when I put it in here. But I've been keeping the lid open, trying to stir it up while it was exposed, try to help cool it down some, because I don't want to get any of the nasty sugars in through here. So, but yeah, see, it's coming. It's about 156-ish. So it's almost down to temp to where I want it to be. But it's looking good. It's smelling great. See if I can get some color in through here. You can kind of start seeing some of the color of that beer color. Yeah, right in there. You can kind of start to see it. So it's looking good. Hopefully this is going to be a good beer. Alright, got about 14 minutes left of my of the dwell for the grain. So I'm heating up my fly sparge water to 170 degrees. It's going to go in the orange bucket right there, which winds up connecting to this, which in turn connects to the fly sparge all through that area. Grain's looking real good. It's good looking color for the beer. We're right about, still a little warm, about 158. It's you know, with 14 minutes being left, really not much left I could do. So just hopefully it just turns out for the better. I also put in the 5.2 stabilizer, the pH stuff in here. I don't know if it's something that works or doesn't. All I know is that ever since I've been using the pH stabilizer, my efficiency's gone up. Where I was shooting for like the mid 70s, this has gone to like the mid 80s to higher 80s. So it's one of those things I'm just going to continue to use it. So the next time you see it, I'm going to be doing some sparging. Alright, so we got a couple more minutes left before the sparge water is fully heated up. So now what I want to do is go ahead and create my grain grid. We got a nice clean picture here. First thing I want to do is make sure get into runoffs through this thing, so that way I can get a nice clear beer, so that I don't have any extra grains or anything left inside the grain bed. I want to make sure I get as much of the sugar water as much as possible with water. I'm just going to let this kind of go off for a few more minutes, because I actually got 2 more minutes left of this. My water's about 140 degrees, so it's getting really close where I would decide to go and do this now. So I'm going to let like a couple, maybe about a half a pitcher, because it's already coming out pretty freaking clear already. So I might leave it at this. This right here, you can see some of the grains and stuff in there. That's gonna go right back into here, right back into the grain bed. So that way, when I pull the good stuff out, I don't have to worry about having the extra pieces of grain and stuff like that. I probably still will, every little bit here and there. It's not perfect, but I go through the refining process about 2 or 3 times, so that makes it a whole lot easier. That's looking like a pretty good color for this Deschutes, or Deschutes, or however you want to pronounce it. So hopefully, next video you see is do a little bit of sparging. So as you can see from my fly sparge, I am leaking a little bit of water. So I kind of open this thing all the way up, try to get as much of the water in the mash tun as possible. But there you go, it's filling it up quite nice. Aerate that wort. Aerate. When it gets a little bit lower, I might try to see if I can get a sneak peek on the inside to show you the fly sparging. There you go, right there. Yeah, I had to open up the freaking the sparge like crazy because it was leaking. I didn't want to lose too much water, so I actually, with it opening it all the way up, have a nice little bed of water right on top of it. So I'm not too worried about it. It should all still drain out quite nice. So this will probably take about another 10 minutes or so to fully drain out, so I get all that yummy goodness out of it. What I might also do is about halfway in between, I'll stop the drain, I'll mix up the grain so it doesn't create little banks and stuff for the grain bed. So basically all I do is get water and not the sugar anymore. I usually do that about halfway through and then make sure all the grains are out of the line and everything. Just try to get more sugars out and try to get as efficient as possible. Alright, so I got all my grain seeped out. Right now my pre-boil is 041. That is with the temperature correction and everything else. It came in actually at 30, but with 126 degrees, you kind of you have to make the adjustments. So next, I'm gonna put in some water salts, one teaspoon per gallon. So 5 of these bad boys go in. I always try to stabilize the water because here in Arizona, we got really bad water. So the next time I'll see you is when I'm getting ready to, or when I'm about ready to hit my break on my boil and start adding hops. So as you can see, it's starting to whirl pin around. I don't know if you can see it very well, but that's right at my 7-gallon mark. for all the wort. So I did really good about getting a lot of the liquid out. And those who haven't done an all grain yet, or watched any kind of boil over, the foam, the protein will easily can come over to this side. So you'll see in one of the next slides I do that the protein will actually grow to expand, you know, over 3 inches long, sometimes 4. This is like my 5th all grain, and I've actually only had one small boil over once. So I try to prevent that. It's very sticky and messy, but you can start seeing all the protein start to collect here at the top of the wort. What a nice day to have a brew day on a rainy day, huh? So here shortly I'll be showing you the boil. I'm almost set up for the rolling boil, but you see how far up that came up to. That's right around the 10-gallon mark, maybe just above the 10-gallon mark. So I got it just about this rolling boil right where I want it. Turn up the heat just a little bit more. I'm gonna go and call that the rolling boil. So let's go back into my iPhone here. No, it might be kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can focus it. So now, if I go into my timers. Grain hop edition. Alright, let's go ahead and start timer. Following additions are the salt and the 1 ounce of Centennial, which I've already added the salt. So here's a Centennial. Now you got to watch out when you do add hops to the wort. Sometimes when you do add it, it will cause a boil over. So you just be wary of that when you're doing all grain. I'm sure that happens with all kinds of beer making, but definitely when you're boiling the wort and you're adding hops, you got to watch out that it does. It will and can cause a boil over if you're not too careful with it. All right, so the next one's gonna be. This is gonna boil over for 45 minutes, and then I'm gonna wind up adding the Citra, the Mosaic, and then 1 tablespoon of Irish moss, which is used to refine the beer and make it look all nice and clear and everything, not all nasty, skunky looking. So I'll see you then. So what's customary for every time you do home brewing is to have your own home brew while you're making home brew. So obviously today I'm making a Deschute fresh squeezed clone, or at least my first attempt to. This right here is another clone that I did. This came in a little higher ABV. This right here is a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale clone. This came in at right about 7%. You can see how clean it is. It's very clean. Been drinking the hell out of this. So it has a little bit of the muskiness to it, which is fine. I don't use gelatin or anything else like that. I just use Irish moss, and then that's how I use to refine everything. Maybe later on down the road I might wind up using gelatin, but I'm not too concerned with it because you know what? It drinks just as good. So for Homebrew Wednesday, well, this is smelling absolutely wonderful behind me, just with the Centennial hops. And I still have to add the other 2 hops, so I'm looking forward. I look forward to every beer that I make. But while I wait, here's to you, YouTube. Man, I gotta brew way more often. Okay, I know you didn't see any part of the wort chiller. Basically, when the boil was done, I put the wort chiller in there for about 15 minutes, full blast of water. Went draining it into the, out there into the darkness that you can't see. And so now I got the siphon. Now I know it's extremely hard to see because this thing doesn't have a light. But I got this awesome wort going into my fermenter as we speak right now. It's coming up really nice and pretty looking. See if I can get a better look at it. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. It's gonna make a good beer. Coming in nice and clean. So then all that's left is just to pitch this yeast, which is the Burton Ale yeast WLP 023. See if I can get there we go. 1 vial of that as soon as my temp comes down. I started racking into the fermenter about 95 degrees. I do that so by the time everything else kind of, when it comes through the line, it'll still keep cooling off by the time it's all done. So it should be almost close to pitch the yeast by the time I get the sucker inside. So you'll see me pitch it and put it inside. That's what's coming up next. Alright, nothing too special about this. This is my beer closet. Got a little bunch of other beers and DVDs in here. And like I said, not too technical. Just basically, I'm just going to pitch this yeast in it, plug it up, and watch the bastard bubble up. That's about it. I'll take another video of when I get ready to do the secondary, or if it's getting a lot of bubble activity, then I'll take a video of that. Until then, that's about it for this Deschute's IPA. Talk to you guys later. Alright guys, just a quick little update. That yeast that I pitched that night, the liquid yeast, it just wasn't wanting to take for some reason. I mean, it could have just been a bad batch. But I waited about 24 hours and there was still no activity. So I wound up pitching in a dry packet of Safe Ale US-05, which I don't know if you can see, but that says it's an American ale yeast for this one. So I didn't want to do an English ale because I just didn't think it'd taste right. I mean, beer is beer; it's still gonna drink anyway. But this is now what it's going down to. The sucker's going like crazy. This is now day 3 since the original pitch of the first yeast. So this actually throws me back probably 1 day. I'll take a look at the schedule to see what when it's actually supposed to come out. I'll check the gravity. Unless it's still plopping like crazy like this, then I'll leave it alone. But just like any other kind of airlock or any other kind of readings, it's done when it says it's done, not when you think it's done. Because you don't want to make no bottle bombs or anything else like that. So there's my update. Hopefully I'll show you what the secondary looks like when I get ready to rack it. Alright, talk to you then.